I'm Jason Liu from DNV Maritime, based in China. So today is a great honor to be here, to have the opportunity to share some of the latest insight that we learned with our customer, but also some latest study from DNV, how that we are seeing the, let's say, China, especially, let's say Asia, especially in China, how we are actually possibly taking a leading role in navigating the green shipping transition. So I started maybe a little bit from our maritime energy transition outlook, one of the flagship publication every year from DNV. So look at from the left-hand side. We can see that, look at the energy consumption for China. It's projected that it will be decreased by around 20%, while the renewable will actually dominating by 2050. And look at the electricity generation. Already by 2030, that renewable will be overtaking the fossil fuels. That shows how China is actually progressing on the energy transition. But move to the right side, look at a bit on the shipbuilding. We know that Chinese shipbuilding is, you can say, dominating, leading, but actually not only leading in size, but also leading in innovation, but also leading in the providing the green ship capacity to the global shipping industry. According to statistics, we can see that almost half, 49%, actually ship in the order book are actually, you can say, alternative fuel capable vessels. And among those, 70%, more than 70% are constructed in China. I think if we put this story in short, maybe many will agree, the China story on energy transition is actually a testament and also showing the China's strategic foresight, speed, last but not least, the scale. Then let's move a little bit to the shipping. I think look at the shipping. First of all, I think shipping is actually stay in the past to the net zero. That is in line with the Paris Agreement, in line with the IMO GHG ambitions, and also the regulatory framework to achieve that ambition is also continue to be evolving. We have learned that we have CII, we have EEDI, we have also the EU ETS and FuelEU Maritime. But don't forget, there are also commercial drivers like Poseidon Principle, Sea Cargo Charter that are still driving the change. However, we have seen this October, there's a small pause, you can say, or maybe we should not use that word, but that is a postponement of IMO Net Zero framework for a year at least. But you may agree, this is not a rejection of IMO Net Zero framework, but just a delay for a year. So if you look at, this is a journey that we believe the shipping will go through, but there are lots of challenges and increasing uncertainties ahead of us. Then I can share that from actually October 17th, starting from that evening, exact evening in China, we actually received quite some call even over that weekend because that was Northbound Forum in Shanghai, also a big event like the Hong Kong Maritime Week. The question we have been receiving from our customer, mostly from ship owners, should we wait or should we act? I think that is a question probably answers itself. But the real challenge or real question lies in, how should I act if I can't wait for a year? I think with the discussion getting to how we can really determine the area of certainties among all those increasing uncertainties, then we can navigate this transition. I think you are all top Chinese, let's say, industry leaders. You will understood this, but how? Then we look at our industry is not standing still, even before October. Although we know that alternative fuel, there are lots of challenge, high cost, lack of supply, lack of infrastructure, but we are acting on that already. We have seen LNG and methanol are actually quite dominating the order book, you can say. We're also seeing ammonia is actually getting to the order book with the pilot projects. We're also seeing the biodiesel, even some of the commercial, let's say, owner using the a little bit you can say conservative, but I wouldn't say conservative. That's just different, pathway or strategy that they're using biodiesel as well with conventional engines. But don't forget some other, like onboard carbon capture. We have seen the onboard carbon capture has been piloting in full scale. We're also seeing the modern wind assistant propulsion system, the wind cells, are gaining momentum. According to our maritime forecast this year, maritime forecast 2050, this year the statistics shows there are already 50 projects installed and there are more than 100 in pipeline. We're also seeing that regarding onboard carbon captures coming from our same study this year, if we can get the infrastructure ready in just 20 ports, and don't forget those 20 ports largely, not all, but mostly actually in Asia and actually in China, quite many. If we can just the top 20 port infrastructure ready, only with a large vessel, we can reduce the emission for shipping in total by 19%. So we are actually acting. Then getting to the question, how we should move ahead, especially in the short term, how to balance the short term and long term. I think we are discussing, it's not from DNV, honestly. We're just sharing what we learned from you guys, from our customer. So we just put it together. We realize that we actually need a holistic approach to address this challenge. There's no silver bullet. You can't say, I just follow what seems very good. We need to really learn from the best practice in the industry, but look at it a bit more holistic. So that covers internal, external aspects. That can be like the fleet renewal, what kind of fuel you use, but also we need to keep in mind the total cost for your investment. And don't forget energy efficiency. Every drop we can squeeze in the energy efficiency, actually they are not the last drop, they're quite a lot potential. Don't forget about that. We're also seeing that with the commercial settlement and also how to use the pooling, I think this is actually we can learn even for the future IMO scheme, starting from the EU, how we are settle the fuel EU, for example, the credits and surplus. Last but not least, look at the internal. It's also about a change management. Change management in terms of your process, but also people. According to our this year Maritime Forecast report, by 2028, the alternative fuel capable vessel will be doubled into your operations. But our seafarers are not yet ready to operate that. If you start really to use that engines, which is not yet largely happened only in pilots. So this kind of challenge may be a little bit underestimated or overlooked for now. But it will come. According to our study, there will be huge demand. More than 33,000 seafarers need to be upskilled to operate alternative fuel vessel in the next 3 to 4 years. So I will not get to every detail, but I think that you have much more knowledge than me, than DNV, that what it is really about. So we just summarize it a bit, not really a recommendation to you where DNV tell you how to do, but we just summarize what we learned. The shipping company actually need to assess based on the business need, how to take pragmatic, realistic, small steps. Can be small, can be big, right? But start from small steps. Then we can see that from the smaller company, or let's say not necessarily small, forgive me, sometimes I use a word, I need to rephrase it a bit, but for the company who are not yet ready to act for whatever reason, that's very important. You gain clarity on the strategic direction and understand what's the impact to your business. Then move ahead. For those companies actually start to act with initial awareness and also with capability to invest, they need to identify what is the best feasible pilot for me to explore. Not necessarily you just follow others do because you probably will find your way. That is about explore pilot opportunity to gain experience. last but not least, we have lots of front runner. I suppose there are also many actually sitting in this room. That is about take leadership. How we can really scale and share the best practice and build more confidence in our industry. I think that's the key eventually, that we are not left anyone behind in this transition. So this is how to get this into, let's say, a bit more. Actually, DNV has been doing. That's also my last slide. In DNV, we are doing the, let's say, macro trend, energy transition outlook every year. You probably noticed this is some of the message I shared coming from this report if you want to take a look into more details. And also, we also have our maritime shipping specific, maritime forecast to 2050. But we believe getting even more and more relevant is we from DNV, we take our role, our expertise, we team up with you, with industry leaders. One very good example was just launched yesterday afternoon in World Maritime Merchant Forum that we jointly developed a net zero guide with China Merchant and get support from lots of industry partners. So this is the way that from DNV, we would like to address this challenge with you. So in closing, I hope that I shared some of the valuable insight. I'm also looking forward to learn more from you today, but I wish you a very engaging and successful forum. Thank you.